but you came to that conclusion. No matter how you came to it, and that's what's difficult. Like I'm going to have this in 3.5 years. I'm going to retire. It's going to be December 24th of 2027. So I'm planning on it because I don't want to hold on and have people laugh at instead of with. That I want to make sure that I'm sharp doing this. And it's got you got to be you got to be on top of everything for 3 hours it's live. And I do worry about that. I got memory issues. You're just trying to make sure that you're still doing it great because sometimes nobody tells you. Maybe you are slipping a little bit. And so I had to put the expiration date on my career, at least doing this every single day.
That's a different experience. My expiration date happened in the moment.
Yeah.
And people like you and the game and my former team and the league were telling me, we're good. You're not an interesting player for us. You're not the future. We have playing time that we want to give to other players. Whereas you, there's I see it, you see it with Bob Costas, or you see it with some of the other icons in media. They're just always going to be in demand. Charles Barkley, same sort of thing. They're just always going to be in the demand, and you'll be the very same. But it's interesting to me that you're electing to call it, and I wasn't able to do that. It's just different. Yeah, I'm 40. I feel good. I feel good. So the idea of stopping something I've been doing my entire adult life, my even my teen years. I was having a conversation with my mother yesterday, and after this we can lighten it up a little bit, but I was having a conversation with my mother yesterday, and we were sitting down so when I was 18 years old, my mom's been working at the very same restaurant. She's a sommelier, one of the best sommeliers in Canada. And, she works at a prestigious restaurant. And when I was 18 years old, I let her know I'm going, and I was about to hop on a plane. She's crying, crying, crying. And I go back to the very same restaurant, and I sit with her, and we have, I don't drink, but we had a little bit of wine. Typically, I don't drink, and we had like a celebratory glass of wine, and I said, we made it, and I said to her, you know, the thing I'm not worried about not playing anymore, but when my father died, I used baseball as my escape. And it's almost like yesterday or a couple days ago when I stopped playing, it was my way of saying, you know what, I'm ready to face, not like I've mourned my father's passing, but I'm ready to face life. I'm really ready to say I'm done and I'm taking it on. And it was intimidating for me for a while, but I think the last 9 months, how alone I've been in terms of this process has helped me transition into it. So
Um, what was it like to have teammates ask you to buy beer for them?
the guys were down so good to me down there. There was it's interesting because I had some people tell me that they were emotional afterwards, and I thought, there's some players that looked up to me. If there was one or two Canadian players that like, me as a player. And I was like, really? You're just my teammate. You don't think when you're competing every day, when you're training uh, towards being your very best, that anybody cares about you. And generally speaking, in life, most people are concerned about themselves but I think that when Griffey Jr., for example, transitioned out of Cincinnati, I was like, oh man, that was my teammate. That was I played his video game. I watched him, as a boy. And so you don't realize the sort of impact you have, but it was a great experience. It was hard. The hardest thing I did this last 9 months, essentially always being told no, and I was the only one saying yes. And the game telling me no, and I'm saying yes. Airbnbs, basically 5 months of hotels, hurt the whole time, minor league complex. But I loved it. And there was no moment that I was there was no moment. It was the complete opposite experience of the posh big league life, major league life, the charter jets and the people taking your bags, their first class hotels and great pay and all these things. Let's get real here, it cost me money to play baseball this year, and I am not complaining at all, but that's the reality of it. But at no point did I had the best time. I had the best time this year, but it was hard. It was terribly, terribly hard, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.